Okay, so today we're going to show how to fix a common problem with these Mikuni carburetors. This is the piston from a VM26, which is off of a KZ1000. It's also the same piston that's used in the VM24s, VM22s, VM28s, and believe it or not, the VM29 smoothbores all use the same piston. So this is all compatible with the same thing. It also works with the BS34 and BS32 pistons, which the piston's a little bit bigger, but the seal is actually the same size. These you see on like your 78 to 80 XS1100s, XS400s, stuff like that. So these seals dry out over time. You gotta remember these bikes are like 40 plus years old. They get dried out, they crack, and then you'll end up with a rich running situation where it's constantly running rich. You can't quite figure out why, even though the jets and everything are right, or the idle starts to get inconsistent. So what we're going to do is replace this seal with brand new Viton or FKM rubber seals. Now, FKM rubber is the technical term for the material that this is made out of. Viton is just a trade name. So you can buy these seals at joescarbshop.com, and then I also sell these two different tools. I call these my installation tools. This is my seal cutting tool that's sold on the site, and then this is the installation tool that's sold on the site. The other tools that you'll need, I've got a pick here that I've kind of blunted the end of it off, and we're going to use that for pushing the rubber. And then I have a sharp pick, utility knife, drill press, and then a piece of steel. It doesn't have to be steel. You could use a chunk of aluminum or something, or a smaller piece of flat stock. This is just something I had laying around. So we're going to start out by taking our drill press, and we drill a .201 diameter hole through it, and then keep it clamped to the plate. And that keeps it aligned with the drill, and then we're going to end up using this as kind of like an arbor press when we're done. So to start with, I want to cut out the old seal. Now you can go in there with a pick and like dig it out, but I used to do that, but sometimes I would damage this center post by doing that. And it really is, these are really in there. It's hard to get them out with a pick. So what I found is I designed this cutting tool, and what it does is it cuts about little under 180 degrees, and I'll go around the perimeter and I'll slice it all the way down to the base, and then I can literally just pull this rubber piece out in two pieces. So we'll put the tool in our drill press here. Position our part, and then I'm going to just kind of rotate this so I'm close to an edge, and I'm going to pull it down till it bottoms out so I can feel it hit the metal in the bottom. Pull it up and then rotate it about 45 degrees or 90 degrees, I mean, and just do another cut. And I'm just going to basically break this up into 4 cuts all the way around the part. Like so. Okay. I felt that bottom out really easy. So now we've got a slice that goes all the way around, so we've kind of cut this in a circle. So now I can take my pick and I just go in the middle of this. And this one's pretty dry, but see, it's coming out now. There we go. So the center popped out. And now once you get the center out, you kind of come in at just about a 60-degree angle, and you want to kind of turn the pick a little bit and go all the way up to the outer rim, and then you can kind of turn it down, and that gets behind the rubber. And this one's just not, this one is just super dry. There we go. Sometimes they come out really easy. Sometimes it's really dry. One thing that helps too sometimes is if you soak these overnight in carburetor cleaner, like the carb dip that comes in a gallon can, it will soften these up a lot, and then they come out a lot easier. I've had them too where they even shrinking them up like that, you just hit it once with a pick and then they come right out. There we go. Okay, so here's the perimeter. There we go. And make sure there's no rubber chunks left in here. So now we have a clean can. It's like so. So now we're going to take our new pieces of rubber and we're going to put the first one in, and I'm just going to use my pick tool here that's blunted off, and this is just like a dental pick. I just sanded the end of it off, and then it's about 1/16 of an inch in diameter, and then rounded it so it's not sharp. And I'm going to use that tool to push the rubber past the lip into the bottom of the can. And I get kind of farsighted. It's hard for me to see with my glasses. Okay, so that's sealed all the way to the bottom of the can. Now, this is where things get a little different. The last one, the depth between that rubber face and then the inside of the lip is approximately half of what the thickness of this rubber is. So we have to compress it in there, and this is also what helps hold it in. So I'm going to push it down about that far, and I usually squeeze it with my fingers. And I want to get the top surface of this kind of folded under the lip on here. So I'm just sort of rolling it over, and it'll end up being like a cone shape when I'm done here. So I've got the two sides, and then I'm going to just sort of start pushing in the outer edges here, like so. And you do want to be a little careful, especially like whatever tool you use for this, make sure that it's got soft edges, or else you can end up damaging the rubber, and then you got to pull it out and start over with a new piece. And the diameters of these vary a little bit. That one popped back out. Let's do this again here. Sometimes it takes a couple tries to get this in. The diameter of where they crimp these, you'll see, is different from one to the other. I don't know what Mikuni uses to roll that edge over, but I see differences in those edge diameters, plus or minus 25-30 thousandths of an inch. This one, there we go. Come on. You can get in there. Sometimes you kind of have to hold it the other side with your finger. I kind of equate this to putting a tire on a rim inside out. There we go. So now we've kind of got this cone shape all the way around. I just want to double check, make sure all the edges below this edge. So that's what it should look like at this point. And now we're going to use our insertion tool. And the insertion tool will push it in the rest of the way, and it'll flatten it out. So this tool has a diameter on it that's slightly under the inside lip diameter where that goes in. So it should be able to pass all the way into the hole. So I'm going to clamp this guy back in, and then I'm gently just pull down until it's flat. And then you want to do this usually about 3 times. You bring it in, let it up, bring it in, let it up. Every time you do it, it pushes a little bit more of it in underneath the lip until it comes out relatively flat. Just like that. So, and that is what it should look like when you're done. Nice and even all the way around, and nice and flat. So, like I said again, I sell the tools and I sell the seals as a kit. I sell it as usually a kit of 4 you can do 4 carburetors. So it'll come with 8 seals and then 1 extra in case you mess up with a seal, so actually 9 seals. And it comes with this little cutting tool and then the insertion tool, or you can just buy them separate. Hope this helps out. Please share and leave your comments on the video. Thank you. Bye.